Hello and welcome to Art with Mr. P. Now, during the year we've looked at different visual elements and we've focused a lot on line, shape and colour, and we've talked about how a line is made from a dot going for a walk, as Paul Klee said, and that if you overlap a line or it reconnects to itself, it makes a shape, and how if you reproduce the shape many times we get a pattern, and often with pattern we then get a texture, which is about how things look, how they feel. So I'm going to give you a drawing exercise which you can do as many times as you feel you would like to this week, and I'm going to mention an artist called Vincent van Gogh. So over the last few years, I've talked a lot about an artist who lived about 100 years ago called Paul Klee, and about how he said that a line is a dot taken for a walk. And we have looked at an artist who lived about 130 years ago called Vincent van Gogh. Now, Vincent, very famous for a whole range of reasons, but when he produced drawings, he was very keen on the line that he used. And I would like you to put together a landscape drawing using as many different sorts of lines as you think you can. So just using a pencil or a piece of charcoal or some chalk, I would like you to draw this landscape, which is going to be a patchwork of fields. I'm using a broad marker so you can see it. Yeah, you can use a broad marker or a felt tip pen, whichever. Yeah. Now, the first thing I'd like you to draw, about 2/3 of the way up the page, so roughly about here, I'd like you to draw the horizon. Now, we've talked about this, and you'll probably remember that the horizon is where an imaginary line where the sky meets the ground, and you can never get to it because once you've walked where you think the horizon is far, far away again. Yeah. Now, the horizon is, like I say, about 2/3 up, about 1/3 of the way in. Now, artists like thirds, yeah, like the number 3 a lot. I'd like you to put in a circle. So that would might be the moon, might be the sun, I don't know, yeah. And now I'd like you to draw in vaguely where the hedges go, yeah. So I think we might have one line coming down here, which could well be a hedge. And I think we'll have one over here. And we'll keep going. Now, a word that I've spoken to you a lot about is the P word. Now, not Mr. P, but the word perspective. Now, the reason I'm pausing there is I'm wondering if you can remember what perspective is. We have spoken about it. Perspective is the tricks that artists use to make things look like they're far away. Yeah? And we've spoken about how when things are further away, they look like they're smaller, even though they might not be, but they do look it, yeah? And they also tend to be paler and bluer, yeah, and cooler. Okay, so what we've got here, we've got the sky, we've got the sun, we've got the horizon, and we've got the outline of some fields, yeah? And I'm going to split some of these fields up in the distance because they're far away, they're going to look smaller, yeah? Okay, so in the fields, I would like you to put a different kind of line in each field. So for example, we might have a broken line in this field. And I'm hoping that you can see that it looks a little bit like the field's been ploughed. So there's a broken line. Now in the field underneath that, I'm going to put in a solid line, so it's not broken. And what I think I'll do is I'll go backwards and forwards Now, can you see how the gaps get bigger the lower down the page I get? Because this part of the field is closer to us, yeah? So the things look larger, yeah, because they're closer. In this field, I think I'll put dotty lines, yeah? Sometimes the lines are more straight than other times, yeah? The lines don't have to go up and down. Sometimes they're going to go backwards and forwards, yeah? So we got a jaggy line, yeah? And the jaggy lines go backwards and forwards. Now, generally speaking, you want the lines to be bigger the closer the field is, yeah? And it's to give that illusion of perspective. And you can keep going. Now that really is a dotted line, isn't it? Keep going. And keep going until all the fields are filled in. See if you can manage to make each field completely different from all the other fields, yeah? So you can only have one kind of line in each field. If you finish that quickly, you might want to put some lines in the sky, yeah? Now, if I put some smooth lines in like this, they might give the impression of clouds, yeah? And if I fill up the sky. When you finish this, sign it, and I'll have a look at it when I see you again. If you find you have some spare time, see what you can find out about Vincent van Gogh. Van Gogh. G-O-G-H. So I've asked you to draw a landscape, and we've looked at the artist Vincent van Gogh, or at least I hope you're going to, if you get a chance, in books or on the internet. Yeah. We've particularly looked at line and shape and pattern, as well as texture. And I forgot what. I got distracted. Delete that one.
No, just carry on. I can cut it out. I can trim it.
Okay. So what we're doing is reinforcing many of the lessons you've had during the year, looking at the visual elements. I look forward to seeing your results when I see you next. Good job.